Hi everybody, it is October 9th, 2020. I just want to thank you guys for indulging me by even watching these videos. If you noticed that there's a lot of people around the world, uh, I guess kind of waking up and, some of them realizing they've got psychic powers or like they're just getting messages, whatever. It just consider me just one of them. I mean, I guess in some ways, I can't speak for them either, but how I feel is like, well, geez, I didn't really ask for this, but I somehow just sort of get get information, and I'm just trying to relay it as best I can. I'm also the type of person, I guess, my whole life that I've always questioned things. I have a critical mind. So I've always probably been that bratty kid that always goes to parents, well, why? Well, how come? Why? Well, I've never really stopped that. I'm always trying to get to the bottom of things. So I think I can kind of speak for a lot of people out there that are. I mean, that's probably why you're even watching this, because we're the type of people we want to know. We're very curious and usually open-minded. I mean, I've got my prejudices. I like certain things, and you know, I always have a tendency to think a certain way, or look at the world through my own personal experiences. And but I try to get past all that and just try to keep an open mind. And since then, I, I've been basically waking up to a lot of stuff that first of all, sounds kind of very unbelievable for the most part. Well, well, I mean, there's things like, for instance, we all kind of suspected. Like, for instance, our governments are, they're, our politicians always seem to be crooked for some reason. There always seems to be a bunch of criminals. I don't even know how they get elected, and then you start probably thinking, well, maybe the elections are rigged and whatever. But we always, it's not a coincidence they keep our lives really, really busy, so we don't have time to sort of like, well, I don't have time. I'm so busy working, trying to pay rent and pay my bills. I don't want to look into things like that. So I just kind of just let it slide, and then it's just we just live through it. It's like we just put up with their corruptness and whatever. But anyway, now that things are getting more exposed, um, well, for me in particular, I got sort of triggered. Like, wow, this is great. Means we can escape this tyranny of these corrupt politicians and everything. So that's kind of what I'm really looking forward to, as this unfolds before us. And first I was thinking, well, I'm the only one that's getting crazy messages, or you know, that's open-minded enough to look beyond. Um, but I guess what I was going to bring up today was, um, really, I've done some posts on it too, and there's a lot of other things out there about brainwashing. There's lots of different techniques that people do. I hear them a lot just on ads on the radio or TV or something. I kind of get how they work. Um, there's kind of like psychological tricks, but then there's literally, this is where it's harder for me to wrap my mind around this one. But when I started looking into weather modifications years ago, like the HARP system they have, there's one up in Alaska, and there's there's a bunch all over the place. Um, but somehow, I mean, this is you know um, kind of scientific stuff they've been playing with for since probably the 1930s that I know of. Anyway, this technology's been around for quite some time, but somehow they can create low pressures systems to create clouds, or you know they can heat up the air to whatever. So they can, in a sense, can probably create tornadoes just out of nowhere and create hurricanes. Now, I think they've been kind of getting really good at that, and so they realize that if they could probably destroy a lot of things through weather manipulation. And a lot of times they always hide it behind its military secrets, because obviously they're always trying to keep planet Earth always in a constant state of warfare, and you always have to pick a side. When you realize even that's contrived, and that's definitely manipulated constantly. But anyway, so they'll use that as a, like, this is a military secret. So somehow it's okay that they do it. It sort of justifies it. Well, they've been doing not only weather manipulations, and but they've also been doing a lot of really complicated mind manipulations. Basically, not just even simple, hypnotic type suggestions. The more I've been digging into this, is they actually have, as we all know, there's this invisible thing called radio waves, and we turn on a radio and we'll get a frequency. Well, our brains have different frequencies as well. So I'll kind of simplify it so you kind of get what I'm getting at. But for instance, I could do a radio frequency of that people aren't even aware of, and do subliminal messages like, hey, go out and buy some chocolate or something, and then I'll stand back, I'll watch them, I'll go, and I'll see them. Hey, you know what? Now they all want to go buy a chocolate bar or something. Well, I know that's working now. So, I'm using that as a basic explanation of this. But ultimately where I'm leading with this is about us waking up at this time, trying to break free from all this stuff. I'm coming to that conclusion that a lot of these sleepy people are being brainwashed through techniques that we were not aware of. And there's the ones that we are aware of as well. But it's a lot stronger than I first thought. And I know I've mentioned that before. We're being manipulated constantly. So the people that are breaking free from it are the ones that first of all catch on. So that we're the ones that are like, something's not right. This is not, why are people buying chocolate out of nowhere or something? It's a joke, but I'm just saying, they're not getting it. Sometimes it's so obvious. I'm thinking, you can't see how corrupt this system is, and they're just so happy staying in their little jail cells on, no, I think life is supposed to be that way, whatever. And it's not. So as we're breaking free, the difficult thing I'm having, and that's why I'm kind of bringing this up, is not only do I get the downloads and I get information, and then I look it up and I find out, there's truth to these crazy rumors and thoughts that there's Illuminati out there. There's a bunch of people that are actually, it's basically an organized crime syndicate. It is huge. Like there's so many countries and politicians around the world that are involved in this, and then you start searching more. And but what I've been getting is sort of like help try to wake people up to this. And there's thousands of people doing this work of waking people up. Well, what I have a difficult time with is because I know that, in a sense, my job sounds like I'm hired or I signed up for this, but I'm just saying, I just keep getting this message that I'm going to be helping, be one of the people, hundreds of thousands of people out there that are trying to help people not only break out of the system, but also change it back to the earth the way it should have been, with our freedom, and basically loving each other, no war, like peace, being peaceful, and taking care of the animals, and getting close to nature, connecting with nature again, including our bodies, being more harmonious. I think that's the way it should have always been. When you wake up and it's not like that at all, we realize we've got a lot of work to try to get this earth back on track. Well, anyway, the problem I'm having is I'm fighting against this brainwashing, and I think it's ongoing. So kind of what I've been told is there is actually, let me put it this way, high-tech machines that are basically brainwashing people, and unfortunately they haven't been shut off yet. So I'm hoping as soon as possible. But anyway, so my task now is to try to explain people, but I have to try to dummy it down as much as possible. In other words, because we're all going through this gentle awakening of people's consciousness, and being more aware that we actually all have like inner psychic powers, and we're all connected, and we're all, you know, there's this superpower out there that holds it all together, which is called love. It's what keeps the universe together. We're not supposed to be fighting each other. We're not supposed to be angry, and yet I see all that out there. So this is definitely going to be quite the bigger task than I first thought. Because to me, I was thinking, people should pick up on stuff like this. Like, wake up! Hey, you're being manipulated. You're being used. Can you stop? Falling for all these tricks. Well, just by saying it, it's not working necessarily that well. And then I've been kind of watching also President Trump's techniques, and I've realized that, he's kind of heading this he's like a crime syndicate buster. He's been basically going around the world busting up all these criminal governments systems, and he's trying to create world peace. And the powers that be, the people that are in control, are the ones that obviously are freaking out because he's exposing this huge organized crime ring around the world, and so they're basically fighting against him. But at the same time, like I said, I've been watching him, and he's doing the same kind of techniques that I'm sort of picking up on that I should do as well. But he's slowly waking people up to what's going on. It isn't like a sudden, pull back the curtain, see, there's a bad guy right there, and he's been using you all these years, whatever. Go get him. It's more like he's been using techniques of, we should show people what he's doing, like kind of exposing him for what they are. This is it's basically a softer disclosure, which I kind of pick up on. It's kind of frustrating to be a part of, because I just really want to just yell out loud and do these videos publicly and just go, hey, you guys, wake up. Listen, we've been manipulated. We've been told, we've been lied to a lot about like technology. They've been hiding technology from us. They've been hiding basically masking our medical system, as in it's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be just treating the symptoms. We're supposed to be being cured from all these things, and there's lots of ways to do it other than the pharmaceutical industry, things like that. Whatever. I can go on and on and on. But the whole point is, I just want to yell it to people. It's like, wake up, stop doing what you're doing, whatever. Take your mask off. We're free. There's nothing to freak out about. But I realize I can't. So it's not as if my hands are tied behind my back. What I'm saying is I have to basically come to that conclusion that I have to do it in a soft way. So I've been practicing, in a sense, on this group here, and this connecting the dots. I've been practicing with this to try to explain things to people in a soft way and not scare them, and things like that. And it's like I even have to decide what information should I even talk about. Should I talk about the fact that we actually have cloning techniques? We can clone people. There's actually, you're walking around, you probably don't know it, but you probably know some clones. You know what I mean? Like there's that's a technology that's real, and let alone free energy and things like this. It's like I don't even know what topics to bring up. We've been lied to about it so much, but I'm also trying to do it on just the mainstream social media, and I have a hard time because it's like I have to dummy it down constantly. I have to be. It's like you have to explain. Some complicated, mathematical equations to some grade 3 students or something. It's like, you have to explain quantum physics to grade 4 students. It's like it's just too much information, and not only that, but I'm learning as we go along too. Like I wasn't even aware of a lot of this stuff. Even 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, I didn't even know. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know anything about Nikola Tesla. I think it was like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I didn't even know that person existed, let alone the technologies that he's done. Because they don't want us to know. The mainstream teaching, mainstream news, mainstream everything, they want to keep us so distracted, so busy that we can't find time to look for the truth. Well, anyway, it's coming out, and it's past the tipping point, and I'm a part of it. I might not be good at this right now, but I'm practicing. So, like I said, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, because I'm still waking up to what's going on and I'm learning about it. So again, I kind of almost want to thank you guys for putting up with me during my wake up process of I'm still learning about this stuff too, and I'm trying to find ways of conveying what not only what I've learned, but I'm also really trying to convince everybody else to do their own research. And you guys find some stuff out too, because we're all figuring this all out together. Well, hopefully the people that are mostly waking up right now. And then once you wake up to what's going on, then we have to find techniques or ways of uh, explaining it to our friends that are still asleep. I mean, I'm sure all of us have got relatives that are just they want to go back to the old system. They just want to curl up in their prison cot that they're all so comfortable with, and just go back to the old systems, like because that's what they know best. It's like, okay, we got prison guards. We're supposed to eat lunch at 12. Go outside for exercise. In a sense, people don't realize, but we've all been basically imprisoned. And they make it look like we have freedom, but we don't. Not what true freedom is supposed to be like, which is coming in the future. So, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Um, so, yeah, this is Friday, and as things are going to keep rolling out by the end of this month, because everything so far looks like it's pivoting on this election in November. So we got to get up to that point and then get past it, and then we got to continue on waking people up, which is basically going to be part of a lot of truth drops. What I mean is like a lot of this truth that they've been holding back, um, the criminal roundups, convictions, all this stuff, whatever. It's going to be slowly put out in the public, and a lot of people are going to be shocked. But like I said, we have to just practice techniques of doing soft disclosure. That's kind of what I'm told or shown. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me, and looking forward to the rest of this month, you guys. Even though it's going to get crazy, and we all know at the end of this is going to be awesome. So lots to look forward to. We have to just plow through this. Anyway, that's my little short video for Friday. Have a good weekend. Bye.